Hello and welcome everyone. Good evening, good day, depending on where you are watching from. Glad to have you all here right from the start, and I would like to welcome to the stream the one and only Tom Hepp, negator77. Hey Tom, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very good, thank you very much. Tom, for people who don't know you, you were in, I don't know if I should say in the past, it was only a couple of months ago, right? You were best known for always playing the same deck, being Dark Depths. And maybe you can tell us, you haven't played a lot recently, right? Is there a reason why, or is there another, or is it just because you got so many trophies that you were like, I've gotten enough for the rest of my entire life, or what's up with that?
I think it was a little bit of burnout.
Yeah,
The
I
last
can
trophy season, I
imagine.
just played too much. I just played too much Magic, so I decided I wanted to take a little bit of a break. And when the urge struck, I would come back and play again. And so far, that hasn't really happened. I've been messing around with some other games, playing some chess, playing some guitar, doing some things outside with the dogs. I have no doubt. I always come back to Magic. I've been playing Magic for forever, so
Mhm.
I will certainly be back to Legacy, but I just haven't had that pull yet.
Yeah, you never quit Magic. You only take short breaks. That's what everyone that I know at least has done in the past. You never quit. You never quit. It just never happens.
Exactly.
All right, that's good to have you at the start. But I'm sure that in the future, when we will have you back, that you will start crushing everyone again with the same deck. Or do you think you'll still be playing Dog Depths, or are you looking to other decks as well?
Um, my time in Legacy has been since 2015. It was always I had like a slower bug control depth. No, it wasn't really control, but bug depths. It wasn't like a turbo style shell that I played for the years that very few people actually ran. But I love that deck, and until like certain cards, Teferi, Veil of Summer kind of made it not good, and then I switched to turbo style shells. I
Mm-hmm.
do like the dark depth strategy in Legacy, but I have no doubt that there comes a point in every deck's life cycle where it might be time to to move to something else. But I do love this strategy. So
Yeah.
as long as I can come up with a shell with dark depths that I think is competitive, it's probably what I would choose to run.
I think that's an advice that I should take as well, but I refuse to let go of Infect. You-
Yeah, I
it's-
haven't been able to let go yet either. So
yeah,
it's kind of like I've dabbled in other shells, but
hmm
I just 99% of the time it's gonna be dark depths.
yeah, same
So
here. For me, an important thing is fun too. I just love playing Infect, and I've tried other decks as well. The thing is, I sometimes I play other decks and I'm like, yeah, I mean it's good, but it's not as good as Infect, and that's probably because I haven't played it all that often. But the more important thing is that I don't enjoy it as much as I do Infect. I think there's maybe you can relate. I don't know, maybe just
oh, I
me.
could definitely relate. I think Legacy at its core is a casual format. You know, like
Exactly.
very few. I mean, you could go through the mocks, but very few people are like qualifying for any pro tour type event through Legacy. Like maybe like three or four people a year tops. So
Mm-hmm.
you're playing Legacy because you love Legacy and it's got a casual vibe. So you really want to be doing what you enjoy. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. All right. Maybe we should jump straight into a game, and then we can discuss the matchup more in detail after game one, when there are some more people in chat, because I'm sure a lot of people will have questions today. If that's fine by you.
sounds good.
Hey, Johan, welcome right from the start. I'm not preparing a barbecue right now, Johan. I think you're probably referring to my Twitter, to my tweet. Uh, Someone was flaming in a match, and I put it on Twitter, and I was like, "Are we gonna flame? Then I'm going to get my barbecue." I make it into a sport that whenever someone starts flaming, I'm trying to have fun because I'm kind of immune to flame, and I just wanna. I'm almost thinking, okay, how can I get a good time out of this? That's probably what Johan is referring to. Now I'm going to challenge you. Let's see that I click the correct deck because I sometimes mess that up. I have so many infect lists, and of course I sent you one of them, so I need to pick the correct one. I think this is it. Okay, should be good.
Makes you feel any better. I have a very similar number of depths lists and also need to make sure I click on the right one.
Yeah.
So it would not surprise me if one of us clicks on the wrong deck at some point.
Yeah, especially with this series, I had it a couple of times where I actually clicked on my opponent's deck because yeah, I'm playing against, for example, I'm playing against Dark Depth, and in my head it's like, Dark Depths and I click on your deck instead. It happens. It happens. Right, quickly want to point out to everyone watching in the stream that we will play as if we know each other's deck lists. So I know I'm playing against Depths, Tom knows he's playing against Infect, so we will keep and mulligan based on that knowledge as well. If you want to see Tom's deck list, you can hover over to the left side of the screen. You should be able to click on the Cardboard Live pop-up over there, and you can hover over some cards, and if you want to ask questions about them, feel free to spam them in the chat. Tom's reading along, and I can answer questions about Infect as well, if there are any. Right, let's jump into the game. I win the die roll, always good. Hand's definitely not bad. I'm definitely gonna keep. I'm already thinking about what I'm gonna play first. I can already click keep, I guess. Hand's fine. It has a lot of stuff going on, so I'm not complaining. I'm gonna try and discuss in general terms, like my hand's good, I'm gonna do this and this, so you don't have that much information. I'm gonna try and keep it hidden, and you can do the same if you want, but I'm gonna try and not spoil the fun here. I think I just want to start with Glistener Elf, honestly. Almost always the best thing to do. Thoughtseize. Let's think. Tom, are you still here? Because I no longer hear you.
I am still here.
Okay, great. Just wanted to make sure that my mic hasn't popped off. Yeah, nothing I can do about this. So let's yield. Curious, can you run me through your thought process here, Tom? What cards are you considering taking and why?
So generally, this is going to be, in a lot of game ones versus Infect, it's just a racing situation. Like,
sure.
There's not a whole lot that you can do about a 2020 that doesn't involve just killing me. So basically, if I can force through the combo underneath your clock, depending on how many outs I think you have to kill me, I will theoretically take anything that can maximize that. So, like, for instance, if you'd played the Noble Hierarch instead of the Glistener Elf on 1, I probably would have taken the Bladed Agent, maybe, because that's the only one I can't block, and that's a big deal with Hex Mages around, in game 1 you don't have your Swords to Plowshares, so it's harder to get them off the table, and you would have to 2-for-1 yourself, barring the trample aspect, to get through the first striker. So it's like anything else, it's super context specific. The library's kind of terrifying if I don't have a way to kill you in the first couple of turns.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that because I don't have a land yet, but if you...
Yeah, that's
the thing here, right?
So how you sequenced it's a really big deal. Like, if the Hierarch was in play, that Sylvan Library would be absolutely terrifying. But from this spot, I think I just want to make slow your clock as much as humanly possible, so the Vines makes the most sense. It's close though. Blighted Agent is also a really interesting card. So I think from giving information away to you, that's kind of like, I don't anticipate blocking this Glistener Elf.
I probably would never anticipate that anyway. I think if you start blocking, then it's going to be with the 2020, then I probably have lost anyway. That's usually how I watch this. Turtle, thanks for the follow, man. Cheers, appreciate it. So it's interesting because you said the things that I was considering with my opening hand as well. I wasn't sure what I was going to play first, the Elf or the Noble, because I know that Sylvan Library is such a scary card in this matchup. And of course, if I was on the draw, then it would have been easy. Then it would have been Noble any single time. But I think I just want to, as you said, this is a race. And not being able to slam it on Sylvan Library, yeah, sure, it's a bit of a downside. But I mean, I think I just want to try and kill you as quickly as possible. Especially in game 1, you don't have things like Abrupt Decay, etc. So I don't have to play around with removal. And this is why I think this is better. Bit afraid of this Dark Depths now, because if you have the Hex Mage, could be in trouble. rotation. This game could be over pretty quickly. There you go. So if I attack, you probably block first and then make a token.
Yeah, there's not a way that I can see based on your hand for you to have enough trample damage. So yeah, I would block, put first strike on the stack, and then make a 20/20. Yeah.
You could even just block it to death. It has first strike, so I'm not gonna do anything. There was one small way how I could buy time is if I top decked Inkmoth Nexus, but I did not. So yeah, I'm just dead. I have nothing. But I'm gonna let it play it out because maybe you have people here who don't know how the combo actually works. So I'm going to I'm not going to concede just yet. Okay, so if this was a tournament, what I would do is I don't want to tap out because I want to, even though I have nothing, I don't want Tom to know that I have nothing. So maybe it's like, oh, why is he not conceding? Why is he still playing? So I'm just gonna pass. You know, it's small things, but sometimes you have to. Hey Cinerix, hey Sage, welcome. Sorry, Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, it's also online. You never know if you want to play to the outs of your opponent just misclicking through your end step, or you never know what's going to happen.
It happens a lot. And here I will lose. So maybe you can explain the combo, what exactly happens, Tom, with stage plus dark depths for people who don't know this. What happens actually when you use these lands?
Well, the X Mage is much cleaner. It's just take the counters off. Depth triggers make it 20/20.
Oh yeah, you use
with the stage.
Sure. Indeed.
Yeah, with the stage, it's you're copying it. So anyone that's new to Magic Online, the one thing that you have to be really wary of is that when stage becomes a dark depths, it becomes a dark depths with no counters. But you have 2 dark depths at that point, and you have to sack one as a state-based effect. And it is, I have sadly seen people click on the wrong copy, and then you are just left with a dark depths with 10 counters on it still. So you have to make sure that you click on the you have to sacrifice the one that still has the counters on it.
It feels bad. Exactly. So
it does,
so
but it's
we basically play a deck that cheats away the counters. That's how the deck works. There you go, and I'm very dead. That was a very aggressive combo, and you had Thoughtseize and Duress, so not a lot of things I could have done about that. There was maybe a situation for me to maybe not play the Noble, so I had Spell Pierce up, but I don't think that's a winning line. I don't know, that's not just what I want to be doing, because you can easily play around it too. Keep in mind that Hex Mage is not a non-creature spell, so I don't like playing that line. Right.
Yeah, I think I like the way you played it, because I think what you really want to do in this matchup is, first and foremost, you really want to get a clock. And
exactly.
I think you needed, for your hand to really develop right, you needed to draw a land in the first 2 draw steps anyway.
Yeah, agreed.
And so even if you'd played the Noble on 1, you'd still been in the same spot. I mean, you could have played the Glistener Elf a full turn slower and kept Spell Pierce up, but I don't know that, that would have been a preferable option. Plus, that still just loses to the Hex Mage. I only played the Duress because I knew your hand, and it was free to see if you drew Force of Will for the turn.
Yeah, agreed. I think
with the Crop Rotation Spirit Guide, but I didn't have to play it that way. So if you played out the Noble Hierarch and I knew you were holding up Spell Pierce, I could have just not played the Duress and just played the Hex Mage and assumed you didn't draw the Force and gone that way too. So that I don't know that it was really. I think you just needed to draw a land.
I think so, and didn't happen, unfortunately. Meanwhile, I have put my sideboarding plan ready, so maybe I can start and then you can explain your sideboarding plan if you want to.
Sure.
Easy thing for me, honestly. I have Swords to Plowshares in the sideboard, which is ridiculously good in this matchup, especially because you can gain 20 life. I don't care. I need to deal 10, not 40. And I play Veil of Summer. That's pretty much it. 3 swords, 2 Veil of Summer come in. And then I'm not a big fan of Spell Pierce because we saw you can play lands and you can play the Hex Mage, so I think that's the worst counter in the deck. My 1 copy of Mavinda, this is not the matchup for it. And then I cut 2 Vines because I think it's a bit slowest pump spell. And well, you have Abrupt Decays, but I do bring in Double Veil, so that works as well. And that's my sideboarding. I can see maybe if you want to prefer keeping in Vines, cutting something else, but I like I still have 1 of Vines left, so I like sideboarding like that. That's how I always do it. And there you go. Submit the deck.
those all seem like solid choices. For me, I do. Might seem odd at first, but I actually cut the Not of This Worlds. They're basically only for. Really depends on the context of the 75 for the Infect player. So like your list right now has the 3 Swords to Plowshares, which isn't necessarily traditionally stock. Like a lot of times, Infect's just blue-green. So you do have the plows that Not of This World interacts with, but the one thing your current iteration of the list does not have is a crop rotation Caracas package.
Indeed.
So the Not of This World really only have 3 targets post board, and I can replace those with Sylvan Safekeepers, which basically perform the same function but can also block Glistener Elves. So they're just a little bit sturdier because they could eat a plow by sacking a land and still be on board to protect a lodge, but they can also interact with one of your attackers, force you to either trade off one of your infectors or use a pump spell, that kind of thing. So I think it's just slightly more versatile. It's still not great, but it's slightly more versatile than Not of This World.
Yeah,
so I swapped those. I take the Stifles out for a similar reason. If it was a different version of your deck, or even one of your older versions of this deck, where you do have a Wasteland and a Caracas and maybe a crop rotation, Stifle suddenly is not just hitting fetch lands and maybe an Inkmoth Nexus activation. It's suddenly stopping your Wasteland, your Caracas. Like it has more value, but right now it's literally, unless I missed something, it's literally just fetch lands and 1 mana Inkmoth Nexus activations, which is just not very good.
No, I'm usually not very afraid of Stifle.
Yes, so if you still had Wasteland, crop rotation, Caracas, then I think it would be worth keeping. But given the way it's set up now, I don't think it is. So I take those out. Abrupt Decays come in for obvious reasons. They can hit all your they can hit all your threats. You also have like a Stray. I don't know if you bring it in, but you have the white flyer in the main deck, and then you have like a Stray Meekstone. So theoretically, you could block or Inkmoth Nexus block into Meekstone, and then it hits all your threats too. So, or all your non-Nexus threats. And then I just bring in a Flusterstorm as well.
Yeah, all very good reasons to do that. All right. Good stuff. Let's see. I lost so I can play first. Yes, please. But maybe I should watch chat first because I've been ignoring you guys a bit. Hello, Babalo. I'm having a Belgian beer today. Indeed, as always. Today I'm having Leffe. I think I had that one in the past as well. Excellent. I can really advise you to try it. Rally the ranks in the deck, not yet, my man Sage, because Tom hasn't played Magic in a while. I didn't think it would be fair if I would play all these Modern Horizons 2 cards and he would not. I don't think that's fair. So I just I'm playing in one of my my builds before Modern Horizons right now. So no Rally the Ranks just yet. And Legendary Protector of Sarlacc. Don't know if I know about that one, but I don't know. Maybe it sounds fine. Does it keep? Pretty easy turn 1 here. So let's fetch, drop, noble. Always a good start. Okay. So Tom, apparently you are the protector of Sarlacc. Is this some kind of reference I should know, which I don't?
That is a Matsole special.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore this then. This is interesting Thoughtseize. I actually have to do this. This is I wonder what are you thinking right now, Tom?
When you force a Thoughtseize, that tells me that you have a very powerful 2-drop that you want to protect. So
and what would that be?
My guess would be your hand is either very dependent on a Blighted Agent or very dependent on a Sylvan Library. Those seem to be the 2 choices.
Sounds good. It was Sylvan Library. Of course, you can still have Abrupt Decay, but I mean, I can't keep it in my hand for that fact. You can play 2, so I'm just gonna slam it with a Noble. You never know. Life total sometimes matters, and it's free, so you should. So now I'm very afraid of Abrupt Decay. Okay, no decay. You could technically still play Abrupt Decay though. Huh. Okay, this may be very weird, but I'm gonna daze this Sylvan Safekeeper.
Yeah, I like that play. I like the force too, because your dazes are just, once the petals are around against my deck, like your dazes are just never hitting anything relevant.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
if you can buy yourself a turn with the Sylvan Library,
Yeah.
I think that
I was
makes
just
a lot
so
of
afraid
sense.
if you were able to decay Sylvan Library, it was just game over for me. And I'm just going to be very aggressive with this library. Probably take 2 cards every single turn, as long as I can, and try and win the game as quickly as possible now. I don't want to do this. So many options now, of course. It's unlikely that I'm gonna die in this spot. It's not impossible, but it's very unlikely. I don't usually like playing around the complete nuts. I think the best thing for me to do is play Blighted Agent, because if I find removal spells, you can save your threat with Safekeeper, but I can still block with the Nexus, so I think that's the best thing to do. That's unfortunate. I was not expecting that. Because I have swords. That probably means you have... interesting. What does this tell me? You probably have some way to protect your 2020 once you have it. You could also just have another one. Because you do play 3 in the sideboard. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna block here. I wanna see what you have. It's possible that this was maybe a mistake. We'll see. Okay, again, I'm gonna be very aggressive here. Don't think I want to overextend anymore. This one like that. This one this way. Go. So I'm just gonna slam in for 2. I'm not going to use Pendelhaven because I want to follow this up with a Glistener Elf. There you go. Right, and now let's see. Nothing. What is happening, Tom? What are you doing? I don't trust this at all. I'm afraid.
I wouldn't trust me either.
Can you guys hear the children playing outside? Or is my microphone muting correctly?
I can't hear them for whatever that's worth.
Okay. Let's see. I think I wanna... this one? I think we're gonna take 1 extra. No children at all, excellent, because I've set it up so he doesn't pick up every sound from the outside, but you never know. I think I like playing hyper safe here and just attack with Glistener Elf. You could have Abrupt Decay, but again, it's unlikely that with how many cards I've seen that you decide to fire off Abrupt Decay before damage. So I'm just gonna attack with Elf and see what happens. And now I have the possibility to block with the Nexus, which is always good. So Matt's only hears them playing pretty vividly. Okay, interesting. Abrupt Decay on Elf. Okay, so that was to be expected. That's fine. Elf has done his job. Don't worry, guys, they're not my kids. I do not have children just yet. Okay, so Sylvan Library trigger, yes. Interesting, interesting. I'm not sure if I want to... Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, let's just attack. Tom has 3 cards, so I feel happy about attacking here. This really makes it so that Tom has to do something right now, or, well, I can just attack and kill him, so let's see. Okay. 9 left. Concession. Well, that was unexpected. Did you have anything left, or what happened?
So I kept double discard, Depths Urborg, Accelerant, and Sylvan Safekeeper. So I had literally 2 pieces of disruption, a protection piece, and basically 17 outs to find either the Stage Hexmage or any of the tutors, and just missed for 6 draw steps. I drew a lot of another Depths, Second Petal, Spirit Guide, just a bunch of air. So the Decay was in there too.
Yeah,
the Decay was, I drew the Decay after your 3rd Sylvan Library activation. So
yeah, a bit too late. Yeah, I was prepared for a battle. Let me show you what I had left. I had Swords, Force, Daze, so I was preparing for quite a battle. Right, on to game number 3. I usually, in this matchup, don't change anything. I swap around a lot between if I'm on the play or on the draw in certain matchups, but not this one. Not this one. Let's see. Everyone in chat, have we seen a Plague Engineer yet? I promise you this. You will not see Plague Engineer this or today. We won't see that. Let's pretend like that card does not exist. Shall we? Have you played Plague Engineer in your list, Tom?
Never. I did see that rule change, though. I'm assuming you're not particularly thrilled about that.
That is quite correct, indeed. I've already adapted my deck list. I'm playing Rally the Ranks now in the sideboard. I don't know if you've ever heard about that card.
I have not.
It says you can choose a creature type, and all those creatures gain +1/+1. It only costs 1 white and a colorless, so it's an enchantment. That's how desperate I am. It's pretty good though. This hand is so interesting. I mean, it's so good, but it doesn't have colored mana, so I can't keep this, unfortunately. I wish I could keep this. Let's just mulligan and feel sad. There's a lot worse. How's it on your hand, Tom?
My first hand was unplayable, and my second one is really, really similar.
Okay.
So I'm staring at it, and you're like, I'm desperately trying to get the 4th Gemstone Mine to turn into a Dark Depths before I mulligan.
I'm gonna keep this one. It's not excellent, but it plays. So I kind of want to put 2 cards on the bottom. So which card do I hate the most? I think it's gonna be, honestly, I don't know. One of these 2, probably this one. Yeah, let's just put that one back. All right. For people watching in chat, if I don't know if any one of you has seen this, but I have a huge problem with grass allergy, and I can tell you one thing: it's not a good time to be alive right now if you have grass allergies, because I am kind of struggling. And so maybe you can see that my eyes are a bit red. It's allergies, I promise. Okay, so sourcing away that turn 1 threat. It's not great. I don't like sourcing Eldritch Reclaimer, but I think I just have to because it's so good in your deck. It's disgusting, honestly. I can't let that stay around. That's at least how I feel. Do you think that's correct, Tom? I think I just always have to source it.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically I guess it depends. If you have the ability to kill me within, say you have a blighted agent and a couple of pump spells or something. So if you think you can kill me before it activates, like the second time, then yes. But otherwise, it's just gonna it's just gonna get the full combo in another land, and then it's just gonna have the ability to tutor up the Sajiri step for your plow anyway. So yeah, if you don't have the ability to kill me in a short window, then it has to go. It's just gonna
Yeah, I don't have a particularly
combo.
don't have a particularly fast hand. Okay, fine to start with Civil Library here. Mangok, thank you so much for the resubscription. Really do appreciate it. Helps me out a ton, and you are one of the reasons I continue to make and improve this content, so thank you very much. You resubscribed for 9 months too, that's pretty awesome. Remember when we were worried about a whole different variation of Delver? Well, that came around pretty quickly. Okay, there you go. Dog depths. Okay, so this is unfortunate. I'm not gonna lie. I was just hoping that you wouldn't be able to do that. So for people who didn't...
I wouldn't necessarily always go for it in that spot, because your fast plow could just mean you just had an extra one on the Elvish Reclaimer early. But that's only a 3 of, so it's not super likely. But with you having the white source up, it was a consideration. But the rest of my hand is literally Gemstone Mine, Sylvan Scrying, so I'm not really getting better. And with you playing the Sylvan Library, that just means I'm going to get buried. So even if I talked myself into conservatively playing around one of the last 2 plows being in your hand, the Sylvan Library was just the nail in the coffin. Like, yeah. I can't sit here.
I think that's totally correct. I did play a Sylvan Library with white up. I don't have anything, but for people who don't know what happened here, because maybe it was apparent that Tom didn't have all the mana. He exiled Elder Spirit Guide, so he got 1 green, and that gave him the extra mana he needed to actually activate the ability of Stage. And this is what I know. My play was a bit risky, and I could have not played Sylvan Library to not die here. But the thing is, this is a race, and the way the game is setting up, you start with 5 cards in hand. I have Sylvan Library. I think I just had to do this, and if you did have the Spirit Guide, yeah, sure, I'll take it. But I think this is one of the situations that you, especially in this matchup, sometimes you have to make risky plays, and I think that does count for both of us. Because imagine if I had swords here, yeah, probably then game over for you, I'd say. But this is how the game goes. Sometimes you have to make decisions, and I think you explained it very well, where you know that if you don't do this now, I have library, I'm going to win with card advantage, and this is why you say, okay, I'm just going to go for it now. So good stuff. Well done. Nice. I hope I summarized that correctly.
Yeah, definitely did. The other consideration, small consideration, is you also had a Nexus too. So
yeah, exactly.
It was going to take multiple. Even if I somehow draw an additional piece of interaction the following turn, it's still going to take me 2 swings through, and that's just giving you more windows and probably 6 looks with Sylvan Library.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
So
disgusting. And I had double Berserk too, so if I had a pump spell, I could have maybe trampled over your... Did you know my biggest Infect damage kill was against a Dark Depths player once? I had literally a hand with 7 pump spells, and I was like, I'm just gonna fire them off all at once, and I think I did somewhere around 128 Infect damage, trampling over the token. That was pretty hilarious. But that doesn't come off very often. So
yeah, some of the most fun games I've ever played have to do with Infect counters. Like, I literally had a 3/3 Lodge that just got there after it blocked and absorbed. They just basically pummeled everything they could in it to buy as much time, and it just attacked for 7 turns.
Oh, that's disgusting.
As a 3/3, I've had Mud hit swinging, like I had to block a Blightsteel Colossus.
Yeah.
And then you just get to use a Hex Mage to remove the Infect counters and swing back for 20. Like, Infect makes for there's some really cool interactions.
That's true. I lost in the last Legacy Grand Prix in Bologna. I lost my win in for day 2 against Dark Depths because I blocked. I really thought I had everything covered. So he attacked with a 2020 token. I blocked with my Nexus. So it became a 1919. I was at 20 life, and I knew it was coming on top of the library because of Brainstorm. So I was like, okay, he's going to attack, going to go to 1, my turn, going to draw, he's going to be dead. And then it was his turn, and he just played Vampire Hex Mage, and he used the ability of the Hex Mage to take away the one Infect counter off of the token, and he just killed me. And I felt horrible. It was disgusting. Funny thing. Oh, let's quickly watch the chat. Hey, Legacy Council, my man Arkan, thanks for hosting me. Lovely. Welcome everyone. Glad to have you in the stream. My name's Fenrus, aka Sam. Best known for playing Infect always, never going to let go of that deck. And I have with me Tom Hepp. Maybe for people who have been around Legacy for a longer time, you probably know him, the Master of Dark Depths. And we are playing the matchup of Infect versus Dark Depths. So if you have any questions for me or for Tom, feel free to spam them in the chat. We will be happy to answer them for you. How long are we going to be playing? Well, not sure, but probably a couple of more games, maybe an hour or so, somewhere around that ish. I don't know. At least half an hour, maybe probably longer. Let's see. Okay. Don't think we have any questions right now. What do you say, Tom? Maybe we should play one more game and then we can discuss the matchup a bit in detail. What do you say?
Sounds good.
Nice. Because now that we have discussed the general ideas, we can go through this a bit faster. So I think it was this one. There you go. Maybe we should swap who's on the play on the draw. I think I was on the play last time. First.
Yes. I
Yeah. So if I win now, I'm gonna let you start because I think this matchup is very play draw dependent.
Magic Online heard you.
Exactly. Makes it easy for me. This hand's fine. I'm gonna keep. It's not excellent, but it's fine, definitely. My man Arkan, if you are here still in chat, we need to talk soon because I'm struggling against the new blue-red Delver. Honestly, I'm struggling a lot. So if you can help me out with a couple of brews, that would be amazing. This stuff is pretty good. Do I want to fight over this is the question. Kind of gave you information there, but whatever. I guess my long pause. Already gave it away, right? I think that's how Magic Online works.
You could have been interacting with Chad.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Damn. Is it worth it here? I don't think so. Actually, I think this is fine. Unless you have a Thoughtseize now, then it's not fine. Okay, that's on me. I should have kept my mouth shut. Okay, so what are you thinking here, Tom?
Since you were nice enough to give away some information on your hand, I'll give away some information on my hand. I kind of need to resolve a spell with my given hand, so unfortunately, as much as I would like to cripple your hand with one of these other selections, I believe I'm kind of priced into taking the Force of Will. So your decision to not fight over the Stifle won't be as punishing as you were thinking it might be.
Okay. Crop rotation. That probably means you have the depth in hand. Not much I can do about that though. You know my hand already too, so... And if you have the land, you can just play it, so it's not like I can counter this. I think I'm just gonna play the Noble here and pass. Let's see, Arkan. I was testing a lot of merfolk. Very competitive. Sorry I didn't answer for your task. That's fine, Arkan. You have to apologize for making dinner. You want to be better with Infect versus Blue-Red Delver? Yeah, man. The new Blue-Red Delver deck is disgustingly good, and I'm trying out a lot of new stuff. But I don't know, the one drops, they're just so efficient at what they do. Let's ponder. What we get. Okay. It's not bad. It's not great either, but so what can happen here? You could have an what's the name? How do you call this? thing, the exile
Spirit guide.
creature thing, the spirit guide exactly, and then I'm just dead. So I have a decision to make between this ponder. Do I want to respect spirit guide or not? And the way you're playing, let's think. So you make it, you attack. Yeah, but then what? Yeah, I think with this hand, I actually can't respect it. Yeah. Or I could shuffle, but that doesn't buy me anything. I think what I have to do here with this hand specifically is not respect the fact that you could have the spirit guide, and if you do, I just lose. So then I think I'm gonna put them like this, this, this. Yes, please. Play the Nexus. Play Agent and pass. Karakas against the monkey. I would never consider Karakas against Delver, honestly. But I'm pretty much trying out a lot of removal things in the deck. I'm gonna stream next week. I'm gonna stream a new Infect build with the new Modern Horizons cards, but not this week. Today I have the legendary end boss Tom, and tomorrow I will have Stryfo on. So good times. Okay, so that was good for us. We just saw a passing of the turn. So I think we're probably just missing one. Yeah, probably just missing one mana. Okay, I'm just gonna see if I can squeeze some infect damage through here. Don't have to worry about Rep Decay here. Okay, so attack. Yeah, how can I agree? I mean, Delver just got 3 new premium threats in one set, which is insane. So maybe we should give the meta more time to adapt, but I don't know. I think it's too strong. Okay, let's see if I can just get you here. So let's play another Vines. Okay, so you're probably missing mana. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, I was missing one. I had the second crop rotation, but that just doesn't actually do anything because your daze is kind of sitting there.
Makes sense. Yeah, and I discussed a specific situation at a certain point. So the ponder was, there was a Vines in there. I already had one, which means I could kill you in 2 turns, but I had to tap out. And this is, with the way the ponder was set up, the other situation that I could have done is I could have just played Nexus and then blocked the 2020 with the token. But if I did that, I wouldn't be able to actually kill you in the next 2 turns, so I would still be dead. And that's why it was better for me to just play the agent and then see, yeah, make you have the mana available. And if you weren't able to do that, I knew that there was a Force Will coming, so then I was protected. So this is why I played it the way I did. Okay, sideboarding. Singer, Tron, thanks for the follows. Cheers, appreciate it. Sorry, Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's pretty standard. I think that a lot of people will talk themselves into seeing ghosts and try to beat something that they just can't beat. Sometimes you just have to close your eyes and cross your fingers and hope it's not there because your hand.
Exactly.
That's what your hand dictates.
Exactly. I think that's something that not a lot of people do enough. Maybe that's also just our decks. I think this is definitely something that Infect has to do, and that's probably something that Dark Depths has to do as well, where sometimes you just have to play, okay, I'm gonna try and kill you, and maybe you have an answer, but maybe you don't. Let's just see, shall we? I think that's something that both of our decks want to do certain times.
Definitely.
Let's quickly watch the chat. 3 noted the monkey and the dragon. Who's the third? I don't know the other name, but it's a 1/1 which gets +3/3. Yeah, Dragon Rage channel. That's the one. What are leagues like right now? A lot of Blue Red Delver, and then a lot of other decks that try to beat Blue Red Delver. Was trying to play different taxes and the strategies. Yeah, Express Iteration is good, that's for sure. Okay, this hand is excellent but has no land, so that's a mulligan. This hand is even better but also no land, so that's a mulligan. Looks like yours is a difficult
I
decision too.
mulliganed my 7. I mulliganed my 7, which was non-functional.
Okay.
My 6 is speculative.
Okay. This hand's pretty good for a mulligan to 5, but no land. So, oh yeah, I sideboard out all of my lands for this matchup. I think it's worthless, so yeah, let's just keep. This one has to go, that one has to go, that one has to go. Done. Right. I don't think I've ever won a game against depths after a mulligan to 4, but let's see. If I would play Wasteland still, would you then, in the blind, would you then consider naming Wasteland, or would it still be Nexus here?
No, I don't think I would either hold the needle. It really depends on like what you have. Like if I have a discard spell, obviously I'm gonna look at your hand before playing a needle. If you have Wasteland, if you have multiple options, but given the setup of your 75, there are no other options really. So this is just a straightforward.
Makes sense. Okay, Ponder. Let's see what we dig up.
You did mulligan to 4, so I guess you could make some sort of argument that I could name a fetch there, which would just be evil. But
that would be funny.
That's not my style.
Yeah. Also, I could just have cantrips, and then I could shuffle away either one that you name. But yeah, who knows? If you're like, maybe you have like a hyper brain and you get me, it's possible. Okay, battle. Uh-oh. Okay, oof. Let's play this fetch. Let's play this elf. So for a mulligan to 4, I really can't complain, honestly. This is pretty good for a mulligan to 4. By the way, Tron Travolta, what an awesome name. Really love it. Tron Travolta. How did you come up with the name negator77, by the way? Maybe you've had to tell this story a million times before. No? Okay.
My very first deck ever in Magic as a kid was a deck that ran 4 copies of Phyrexian Negator.
Oh, okay.
It was just a complete trash can pile of cards with 4 Dark Rituals, 4 Phyrexian Negators, 4 Black-White, 4 Mother of Runes to protect the Negators. I don't know if you're even familiar with the card, but Flesh Reaver was a card in that format. It was a 4/4 with a god-awful drawback before they started printing cards with abilities instead of drawbacks on fast creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically just pound people to death with oversized black creatures.
Sounds good. Back in the day when we could still do that.
And 77. The 77 is just my hockey number.
Oh, okay. You play hockey too. Nice. Never played hockey myself. I can't stand on ice. I literally.
I would recommend not.
Not getting on ice.
Not
then.
playing hockey.
Indeed. I'm going to take up that advice and never do that. Let's see what we're gonna do. Pretty good brainstorm. Why does brainstorm just not say draw 3 and nothing else? To make it balanced, you know. Let's see. I think this is the worst one. And then probably this. Yeah. Yeah, let's just slam in. If you do have Abrupt Decay, probably going to use it end of turn if you even want to, because it's possible that you need this petal. Nothing. Maybe that's even scarier. Okay, Safekeeper. Yeah, no. What does that tell you?
I think you're on a 3-outer here that you've already hit.
Yeah, honestly, what does that tell you? Because I am on a mulligan to 4, and for something this could be like hyper bait, or this could really be protecting my spells. Honestly, in your shoes, I'm not sure what I would think.
If you pitched like a Daze, I could see it being maybe some sort of bluff. But the fact that you pitched one of the best cards in the matchup, a Blighted Agent on a Multifor, tells me that you really, really didn't want me hitting your hand. and I didn't think it was Sylvan Library because that probably would have come down already. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna slam in here. And let's see what Tom does. Magic's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just debating whether or not. I mean, I think I'm fine if you blow. Like, even trading a Decay for a Vines here is probably fine.
No, I can't kick, so.
Yeah, it's probably fine. Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay.
Make you go the long way.
No response by me. Hex Mage, yeah. I don't want the card on top for sure, so let's fetch that one away. I'm gonna drop. Okay, yeah, sure, let's just pass. Let's just pass. Okay. So I'm gonna swords and see what happens. You'll probably have something, I guess. Okay, and there you go, dead. I think I made a small mistake here because I fetched and I did not get Savannah, and I did just top deck another swords, which is unfortunate. But I wasn't thinking about top decking a swords to plowshares. But actually, there was. Yeah, I think that's wrong by me. There was no reason for me to not get a fetch there, so with the fetch, not a Savannah there. My bad. And you get me. Boom, dead. Nice. So again, same thing. Not gonna change anything. Maybe I should. I'm thinking about maybe I should play Mafinda, but it's 3 mana, but it flies. Nah, never mind. I'm not gonna talk myself into playing bad cards. Let's just submit. Okay, let's watch chat. Me, Francie, what was your first reaction when you read the gift Wizard gave Infect? Honestly, I knew it was coming. So my first reaction was, well, my first reaction when I first heard about it was, what the flip is Wizards doing? Because I do not understand why they would do this unless they are making new Infect cards. So in the beginning, I was slightly optimistic because I was like, maybe they bring Infect back, but yeah, I guess they didn't want to do that. But honestly, I don't think right now, I'm not all too worried if Plague Engineer becomes overplayed again. I already have my answer. I have Rally the Ranks, which is very good against it. I actually won today a game of versus Plague Engineer because of Rally the Ranks. So, as well, this guy seems to know what he's doing. Well, I can tell you that he definitely knows what he's doing. Oh yeah, let's keep. That's fine. That's fine. Maybe just a lore thing. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Why would they make Phyrexian? Maybe they want to streamline creature types, but it's possible that we may get Infect in the future. I don't want to. Let's just not. No. I don't even want to think about that. I would be too excited. What do you think, Tom? Do you think they will ever bring Infect back? I don't see it happening, honestly.
I mean, there's a lot of mechanics that they bring back that I would think they would never bring back. Like, for instance, I just saw them print a split second card. And that is one of the dumbest mechanics that has ever been printed. Like,
that's true.
Like,
you thought this game was about interaction?
Nope.
Not
But you
anymore.
can interact if you also have a split second card.
Yeah, that's true. And also Storm. I never thought they would bring that one back.
Yeah, so.
But in fact, yeah. But honestly, if Delver gets 3 premium threats in Modern Horizons, I think Infect should get 1 at least, right? In fact,
Seems
people don't
reasonable.
ask much. We just ask for 1 overpowered threat. That's it. Mine's pretty good. I'm curious to see what you're gonna be thinking about this. Yeah, again, run me through your thought processes here, Tom.
So if that was a Glistener Elf in play, this would be a very different conversation. But right now, given the context of my hand, I think I can actually blank. Well, maybe not. Let's see.
Arcanine. I think I would play that one. You know what I was thinking as well? An infect creature that's 1 blue, and it reads as 0/1, and it has, whenever it gets targeted by a spell or ability, it gets +1/+1. That would be interesting. I think I play that. Ooh, Brainstorm.
So on my next turn, I will explain why I took that.
Yeah, I'm trying to... Okay, this is important for me to... What does this tell me? It's clearly fine that I have pump spells. Which is actually kind of terrifying. Maybe a Lotus Pithing Needle? But you probably would have played it last turn because you knew that it would definitely resolve. What else could there be? Maybe Fluster Storm. Definitely gonna play this one. You could also just have another discard spell too. That's more probable. You could also have crop rotation of your own. And yeah, maybe that's more logical. You just have a crop rotation. You want me to go for it, and then you just wasteland the Nexus. That would be horrible. Right, a lot of things that could happen. Let's just slam it with Noble.
You got me.
Depths. It's possible that you just make the token now. Okay. Okay. Oh. Damn. That's wow. You just oh, why not both? Does one exclude the other? Yeah, that's scary. But I'm gonna top deck swords. It's all good.
I mean, that was the other line I could have taken, was just waited to hold up step, but I'm not going to play around. You top deck the 3 outer, you top deck the 3 outer.
Exactly. Make
I'm
him
just
have it.
debating when I'm supposed to crack. I think I'm supposed to just play this Wasteland during your upkeep. Lets you potentially kick it if you ripped exactly Vines of Vastwood. Yeah, I think it's fine. I'll let you save a mana if you drew it that way.
Yeah, I think that's the correct thing to do, because if I did have Vines, then I would be able to win through the Wasteland. No, I'm dead. But think about maybe I could do enough regular damage, but not even close. We need more pump spells for that. Yeah, not much to say here. Take the Brainstorm, lose the game. That was pretty much a summary.
I just didn't want you to have extra looks for swords.
Yeah, exactly. The next card I was going to draw was indeed swords. Unfortunate.
Brainstorm would have gotten you there.
Yeah, exactly. Brainstorm, good card apparently. All right, good stuff. Maybe we can start discussing the matchup a bit. How do you feel about the matchup in the past? And well, I don't know if you can discuss in detail about right now. And with right now, I mean exactly or right before Modern Horizons 2, because the meta has changed a lot since Modern Horizons 2. But let's start with in the past. How have you felt about the matchup in the history of Legacy, if I can say it like that?
Sure. Back when I was running old school bug depths, I really liked the matchup because Infect was just generally blue-green at that point. Very few people were on like cards like Crop Rotation. So if there was any land-based hate, you'd see like maybe one copy of Wasteland in the 75. Sometimes it was even in the sideboard. So there was generally very, very little interaction on the Infect side for what was going on. So it was kind of a pure race, but I felt like once I have decays, the race is kind of similar. Like both decks are really fast, play draws really important, but I felt like I had more ways to interact with Infect's clocks between Needle and Abrupt Decay and stuff like that than they did for interacting with the 2020. So I like being on the depth side of it when it's just pure blue-green. Once you start diving into Bant lists like you prefer, it gets a little hairier because the plows are there. I think if Infect really wants to, it can make it somewhere from a highly competitive matchup to a favorable matchup for Infect because, like I keep saying, it does have access. It can run a Wasteland and a Caracas and a Crop Rotation, which already dovetails nicely with Inkmoth Nexus. It's just whether or not those cards are good enough for the broader format to justify their space. But if you are going to do that and run all three of those cards and then run 3 to 4 copies of Swords on top of that, and then you still have your quick combo and your forces and other interaction, I think you can make it reasonable to good if you really want to from the Infect side.
Definitely. By the way, guys, for people watching, apparently I'm bathing in sunlight right now. Maybe a lot of people didn't notice, but I recently moved to a new house and we don't have curtains yet. So apologies, but I can't I can't close the curtains to remove the sunlight. So bear with me. I think what you said is perfectly reasonable because I think the matchup in the past has been I think when Infect was still blue-green, it was slightly favored for depths. That house has always felt to me. And I really relied heavily on the Crop Rotation Wasteland combination in the main. And the sideboard, I usually played another Crop Rotation and a Caracas. And then it changed it a bit. Sometimes the Singleton Submerge, but it was difficult for sure. But then after I started swapping to Bant, the matchup became a lot more swinging in the Infect direction. Because Swords are just so difficult for Dev's deck to beat, especially because we don't care about life total. Sometimes if you get 20 life, you have time to set up a new, but Infect doesn't give you that time. And it's a race too, so I do love the matchup right now. I think it's slightly favored for Infect if you play Bant, that's how I feel at least. But if you have very quick hands with discard, it can be difficult for sure. It's not like it's a walk in the park or anything. But I do like the matchup. I think it's interesting, and I think this is one of the matchups where you, even me after so many years of practice, I still don't see every single line that depths can take because there's just so many things that a deck can do out of nowhere. So it's just difficult. It really is, but very interesting always. Very interesting always.
Yeah. I think it's noteworthy that there's anywhere from 3 to 6 different versions of depths at any given point in time too. Yeah. And I think the matchups are just super different based on what you're running into. So like even amongst the turbo varieties, you have the rainbow lands to shut off things which shuts off things like Submerge and stuff like that, and has cards like Flusterstorm that the other versions don't. But like a lot of the black-green turbo lists will run things like Sylvan Library, and for reasons that you just mentioned, this isn't the matchup where you would want that. Like traditionally, you'd look at Sylvan Library, and if you have like 2 copies of that in your 75, either in the main or the side, you're like, okay, well, they're bringing in Swords to Plowshares. They're going to give me 20 life, and that means I get to draw 5 extra cards. Like, no, it doesn't. You're dead.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Infect kills you. Like,
I don't care if you have a million life.
Yeah, this isn't a like the old school Miracles matchup, or even like a blue soup matchup that has 4 plows, where you literally have 5 to 10 to 15 extra turns to slowly sculpt with fetch lands, or even just draw 4 or 5 cards from brute force with a library. Like, you just don't have the time to mess with that. And so if they're going with strategies like that, like, I think that's just a misevaluation of what their role should be in the matchup. Unless they're a full-on like slow black-green type of style list, and then if they're on, 4 main deck abrupt decays and then they're boarding in 3 plague engineers, then it's just a totally different matchup. So it really depends on what you're seeing out of the depth shells. And then there's like green-white depths, which is another completely different matchup because now they have Swords to Plowshares, and yeah, it's just kind of wild the variations you can get.
Indeed.
Even within one archetype.
Makes sense. All right, good stuff. Let's see, guys. Keep in mind that if you have any questions for me or for Tom, feel free to spam them in the chat. We will be more than happy to answer any of them for you. And if you are enjoying this content and haven't done so, don't forget to smash that follow button. You'll get notified whenever I go online. And if you want to help me out even more, consider subscribing or donating. It helps me out a ton, but of course, no obligations whatsoever. All right, we've discussed the matchup a bit. Maybe you can play another one. What do you think?
Sounds good.
I think the way our match has played out, this is how the matchup generally feels, where it can really go both ways. I think that's personal preference, probably. I think Infect is slightly favored if the banned version is playing it. But again, by no means is this a walk in the park. But it should be noted that I think you won both times 2-1, and the games have always felt close. And I think this is the general concept of depth between Infect. The matchups will always be close. That's how it feels to me. Where very often it will be, okay, you kill me now. If you hadn't done that, I would have killed you next turn, or vice versa. That's how it feels to me, at least.
Yeah, especially in game 1.
Yeah, for sure.
Game 1 is a super racy.
Looks like Magic Online has heard me. I'm gonna play again. Let's see. Axe 1000, thanks for the follow. Cheers, appreciate it. I think we are zooming in on 1000 followers now. So, that would be nice. I promised you that I would do a Belgian beer special for the 1000 for 1k follower stream, so who knows, maybe it's coming. I think when I started streaming I needed 4 more follows for the 1000, so Shakaloo, maybe you're number 1000, I don't know. I should check if I have a bonus for my 1000 follower. Anyway, let's jump to this game because Tom doesn't want to hear this. This hand is... This is one of those hands, where it's not bad, but it's not good. The thing is, do I want to mulligan this for a random 6? If I was on draw, probably, but on the play, I think I have to keep, but I'm not very excited about the hand. But I do have a turn 1 Glistener Elf, so that's always a good start. Put the pressure on straight from the beginning. Okay, so what do you think about this hand, Tom?
I mean, so it's kind of bottlenecked on mana a little bit early. It's like the vines are probably, I'm sure you'd feel much happier if those were 2 invigorates instead of 2 vines
sure. That would be nuts.
It's a little on the clunk. It's a little on the clunky side, which I think gets even clunkier if you lose this Noble Hierarch.
For sure. That's what I said. The hand's not great, but is it bad enough to mulligan? And I'm not sure if I wanted to mulligan this. Who's my favorite student in the 3rd grade? I'm not going to answer that. I have no favorites whatsoever. Well, that was not a bad pickup, though. I'm just going to fire it off straight away. There you go. And now, if you only have discard, I don't really care. But if you have the creature, then I'm probably dead. Okay, unfortunate here. It's not game over yet. I can still draw a creature. Thing is, of course, you now have 0 lands left, so you must block the Glistener Elf, which means that I can actually put the Merit Lage token, make it smaller. And who knows, you can attack once, and then I need to get top deck, then you can attack again. It's not looking good. I probably need a brainstorm, and it needs to contain another Infect threat and Inkmoth Nexus. But yeah, let's just slam in. So I could use this to decrease the merit Lage even, but I don't think I want to, because I think the only way I can win here is if I. It doesn't matter if I lose on next turn having 4 life or 1. It doesn't really matter. I just don't want to be on 1 life next turn, because I want to brainstorm. And if I find a brainstorm, I want to be able to put as much cards back as possible. So I think it's better for me to not use a pump spell here, because I'm gonna go to 1 if I fetch. Is there a stream from Negator's point of view too? I don't think so. I don't know, maybe Tom, you're recording this? I don't think so, honestly, but you haven't streamed in a long time, right?
No, it's been quite a while. I don't think I've even done like a YouTube video since January. Maybe even before that. It's been a bit.
Makes sense. That was not the card I need. I drew Days. Pretty bad. Okay, so boom! Quickly dead here. Annihilated by the 2020. Although technically, it's not a 2020 anymore. Let's go to sideboarding. Again, not going to change anything. Pretty happy with the cards I bring in. Haven't seen a single Veil of Summer though. That's, if I can use that as at a good position, that's a blowout. But fortunately, so put them like that. This and submit. You kept your sideboard the same every game too, or did you change from time to time?
No, I haven't seen anything in either side that would make either one of us want to change, I think.
No, I think I agree. This is one of those hands, you know, that I don't really want to keep, but I think I have to. Yeah, let's just keep. It's not very exciting, but I don't think I want to mulligan this for a random 6. What do you think of the new cards coming from Legacy of Modern Horizons? Do you like or dislike them? Have you watched the new cards, Tom, or not yet?
I've seen a few of them in passing from like people tweeting about them, but I haven't gone through like a spoiler or anything like that.
Anything that you think is going to be interesting?
I think Green White Depths is really going to enjoy the green Urborg.
Yeah, the Yavimaya, I can pop that up on screen right now because I have it as well in one of my newer builds. The Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, that's the one, right?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be good in Infect as well, as a one-of, if I find the room for it. One of the cards that I'm brewing with. Aaron says hi, Tom.
Hey, what's going on?
Let's just play this Noble. Off of a Savannah. Pithing Needle. Okay. Would there maybe be a reason for you to board out a couple of needles, or do you think getting rid of the Inkmoth Nexus is just too important?
If Nexus couldn't also block, I think it would be fine. I don't really. I think the biggest issue is most people are never going to be able to make that play anyway, because they're not. Most events don't have open deck lists, so there's no way to know that their Infect opponent doesn't have Wasteland or doesn't have Karakas on top of the Inkmoths. So I think it's going to be really hard for most people to get away from.
Definitely true. Sylvan's crying.
I just want to get a land out of my deck. Jeez.
Yeah, just a land, dude.
That's still land.
Honestly, I think I'm gonna counter this because you probably have the other one. I'm gonna fight over this. There's not all that many cards that I actually want to fight over usually. So, and if this was a good brainstorm, I could just win now. Fortunately, it's not a good brainstorm. It's a pretty bad brainstorm actually. I think I'm gonna put them like this. I'm going to put a colorless land into play. And then just slam in. Yeah, sure, go ahead. You search your land.
I will.
Thank you very much.
I'm persistent. I'm persistent.
You shall not stop me from getting to that dark depths.
Yeah, honestly, that's one of the greatest parts about this deck is how redundant it is. I'm sure you have a lot of similarities with all the pump spells and threats. Like, so many cards that are more or less rough approximations of each other that something's getting through.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I will get a copy of Dark Depths at some point.
That's true. How many search effects do you play for lands in your deck?
There's currently 9. There's 4 crop rotations, 4 Sylvan Scryings, and the Elvish Reclaimer, and then obviously 4 copies of all the key cards. So
same thing. I play 9 pump spells, not counting Berserk and not counting Hierarch. So, well, I might as well, you know. I can just.
Whoever could have foreseen this coming when you didn't use Pendelhaven to pump.
Yeah, that's true. Oops. Because I need to add blue. Yeah. The thing is, and this is actually interesting to note, it's you should not always use Pendelhaven even if you can, because if I had used Pendelhaven last turn, that would not have changed my clock at all. Because if you have Pendelhaven and you attack with a noble 3 times in total, you are going to deal 12 damage. And if you use Pendelhaven twice, then you're going to deal exactly 10, which is actually more efficient. So I'm a fan of using your Pendelhaven only if you need to, and this is a reason why. But I think that's one of those things that Infect players have to get accustomed with. Okay, Hex Mage. Not sure it matters though, but whatever. Good thing is, of course. Oh no, never mind. Okay. So let's just slam in here. Yep. So we're definitely gonna use it now. All right. I wanted to do this at the end of last turn, but I didn't have the stop set up. So I gave you one more possibility to draw crop rotation. Don't know if it mattered, but we'll see. Okay. Did you already have the crop rotation, or?
I did have it, yeah.
Okay, then I feel a bit better. Okay.
Generally, yeah.
Dead. This is why I like Ink.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be on your end step. You could put a stop on my upkeep too.
That's true.
It depends on whether or not I was tapped out. I was not. I had the gemstone mine up, so I don't think there was a window.
Indeed. If I should not have let you go into the draw step. That's the most important thing. It's more like the Nexus. If I would be able to block with the Nexus, it usually buys 2 turns, or at least 1 often. But now just dead. This is the situation that we discussed earlier, where if you don't kill me now, I kill you next turn, and we see this a lot in the matchup. It happens all the time. Boom. Let's see. Axe has a question. Start playing Legacy. Found that local players have been variations of blue-white control, so I was wondering what decks should I be looking at to have better matchups in those decks. Interesting. So you are looking for decks that are good against blue-white control. I'm not the biggest blue-white control aficionado, but honestly, isn't Depths pretty good against blue-white control? Tom? Not sure.
Blue-white control has been a variety of things over the years. I don't know what the lists look like currently.
Yeah,
like old school Miracles going back before the top end was just miserable for Depths. And
really?
That was one of its worst matchups. But then post top it was fine, and then it got to a place where Sylvan Safekeeper got adopted pretty widespread, and Sylvan Library, and then the matchup became very good, and then there were periods where it was no longer just blue-white and it was more Bant with Oko and Uro, and then it was different again. Like it's shifted and moved around over the years. Generally, I'm pretty comfortable playing versus blue-white shells, though.
Mm-hmm. What would be the best deck against blue-white control, though? What are they?
What does the blue-white control look like?
I think some kind of Stoneforge-ish. That's what I usually call blue-white control.
Yeah, I know. Traditionally, Post has been like the go-to deck to wreck that sort of thing.
Definitely.
But it's like one of those decks that they can probably beat if they want to. Like if they decide they want to play 3 copies of like Back to Basics or whatever to not lose that, true. They probably can.
But I think I agree. If you want to have the best deck, probably Cloud Post is going to be the one that you're looking for. Cyber Kite has a question for you. Will Abundant Harvest have a place in Depths? What do you think?
I don't even know what that card does.
It's a newer card. It's I don't even know what set it is from, because it was a special card in only one type of set that wasn't actually part of the set. But I think it's if I can remember correctly, it's 1 green and you have to name land or non-land, and then you have to reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal either land or non-land and put it into your hand. Let's see. I can probably
picture right here.
If you read the chat, you have the entire errata.
It's interesting. Like traditionally, I do not like this type of effect. What I'm looking for in the depth shells that I prefer is it's one of the same reasons I dislike Once Upon a Time, even though the card's really strong. I want cards that just definitively get you what you need. Mm-hmm. So for depths in particular, we're running a pile of utility lands that are all relevant in significant matchups. So we need to get the 1 of Wasteland regularly. Obviously, like in this matchup, I needed to get the 1 of Steppe multiple times. We need to get the 1 of Bog against the graveyard decks a lot of the time. Postboard, the 1 of Caracas. And then obviously we need to get like our stage and our depths and stuff like that too. And cards like that just get the next one. You're like 1 out of 24 to hit the 1 of that you need in a specific situation, where if that was just a direct tutor, you win the game. So it's hard to like, so where's the space? It's not eating into your disruption space. So like you don't want to be taking out discard or counters or things like that. It's not taking the slot. You're not reducing your combo because you want to naturally draw it. So you're not like cutting down on hex mages. In this version, you don't really want to cut down on speed too much. So maybe you could eat a slot that way if you want to argue that it could search for other, and some percentage of the time it'll hit a pedal or a spirit guide. But I mean, you're really, there's not a lot of space to make cuts to put a card like that in, and then I just don't think it's performing the function that the direct tutors do nearly as well.
It's not better than the cards you already have, to summarize.
Sure, I went the long way around the block.
No, I just try to to compress and hopefully put it in the easier way. But your explanation was much better than mine. I just try and get a hold of grip of your intelligent mind. That's all I'm doing.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, when I look at this card, like I don't see how this card's better than Once Upon a Time. Mm-hmm. Like if you're looking for this type of effect in a deck, like you want the one that doesn't require a turn of development. Like in Legacy, like a mana is just so ridiculously important. Like everything you can do is so powerful. Like if you want like a selection, Like, how does that card compare on color? I don't think it compares to like Once Upon a Time for that effect. And then for like once you start branching out into other colors, like compare it to what the other colors are doing in 1 mana. Like even red has like Faithless Looting, which is just better than that effect. You know, blue obviously has Brainstorm and Ponder, which is just a joke comparing it to that card. So like, why? I just don't think it's on the power level of the cards that you could be running in Legacy.
I agree. I think that's something that the only place where I can see this work is in control shells, where it does make sense to play it. I know Anurag has played it in this control list, and there, yeah, sure, I can see it happening. People have asked me if I wanted to play this in Infect, and I'm like, no, because most decks, and that's probably the same for Depth as Infect, we require specific cards. And for Depth, for example, it's not good that you find a random land. No, you want to find Stage or Depths, usually. And if you can say land, yeah, what happens if you have Urborg in play and you find another Urborg? You basically just threw away a card, if that makes any sense. So you want cards to find specific things, and then in that situation, I don't think that Harvest is good. That's at least my take on the card. All right.
Yeah, I think.
Let's go ahead, Tom.
No, I'm good.
Nice. Let's see. Let's see. I think I have time to play one more game. If you are up for it, Tom, what do you think?
Sure.
Nice.
As far as the mid range, like the slow depths go, I think it's the question you need to ask yourself is is Once Upon a Time good enough in that list, because that has massive hits. Like it hits all the combo lands, and it hits Dark Confidant and Elvish Reclaimer, and post board the rest of the creatures, whether you're boarding in Plague Engineers or what have you. So Once Upon a Time has a ton of hits. So is it better than Once Upon a Time?
I really love Once Upon a Time. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's excellent. I've played it in Infect too. Wasn't good enough, but I think it's because we played blue. But I can see it being good in Depth for sure. And I know a lot of people do play it in different builds. All right, last game. Let's see if I can squeeze out a 1 win. That would be nice. I'll get crashed all the time.
I'll see what I can do to help out with that.
Okay, nice.
Get some sketchy mulligan decisions.
Yeah, mulligan to 1. Make it easy for me.
I don't think this is good enough.
My hand for sure is not good enough. I have 4 lands, 4 Brainstorm Invigorate, so that's mulligan. I know there was Brainstorm in there, but I'm on the draw, so if you just thought sees my Brainstorm, then what I do. Right, what do you have for me, Tom? You're gonna keep?
This is a really bad hand, but you want to win, so I'm gonna give this a spin.
Yeah, I really want to win, but I doubt I'm gonna, because I'm gonna have to mulligan. My hand is 2 daisies, a Sylvan Library, and 4 lands, so that's not gonna be good enough. Yeah. I'll just keep. Lethal Biscotti, thanks for the follow. Cheers, appreciate it.
Singer M0. My initial version that I played for the better part of 3 years, I guess, was much slower than Turbo Depths. I only switched to Turbo Depths about 2 years ago, and then last year built Rainbow Depths, which is just a variant, like a tricolor variant of Turbo. But yeah, I did enjoy running a slower version of Bug Depths for a long time. It just, the format kind of passed it by. It just slowly kept getting worse and worse, and you can't really play a slow game with that shell versus cards like Veil of Summer and some of the more powerful printings that have come out over the last 2 years.
This mulligan is hard. I have to get rid of 1 more card, but yeah, honestly, I'm mulligan to 5, so I think I have to play it risky. I'm not gonna. If I'm gonna win this one, I need to get lucky, honestly. So I'm gonna put this one on the bottom. Okay, I'm happy that's not Thoughtseize. It's something. At least you can't take away Blighted Agent.
I'm also playing the Get Lucky game, so
Okay.
I'm on the you're never gonna draw a second land.
Okay, it's happened before, so.
So we're both playing the odds here.
Yeah. This is how
Alright.
really skilled people play Legacy. You just say, yeah, you're not gonna draw what you need. That's how you can tell the really skilled players. Alright, let's see what happens here.
Alright, I just top decked very well, like a jerk.
Yeah. I didn't draw land, so I think these two. You're really betting on me not finding a land there, are you? Or you just have a Thoughtseize. If you have a Thoughtseize, I swear to God. Uh-oh.
No, I drew much better than that. I drew the Hex Mage.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I was missing a white combo and just drew it. Alright. Redraw.
Yeah, redraw. It's not over just yet. Thing is, I have to fetch though, so I'm gonna go to 19, and if I block, you have a 19/19, so it's this is yeah. This is funny. Anyway, so I have to block and then invigorate to decrease the strength of Merit Lage, and then I need to get super lucky and top deck a land, and then I need to get lucky again and top deck a pump spell. So let's just do that, shall we? Easy, easy. So I'm gonna invigorate. There we go. You could generate black mana, yeah, but then I still have to fetch next turn because I have Blighted Agent. I need to cast Blighted Agent, and I can't cast Blighted Agent off of black, so that wouldn't change anything. Okay, I didn't draw land, but I did draw a threat, so who knows?
All right, we need to have Hex Mage come off the top here to illustrate what we were talking about earlier.
Ah, yeah, show dominance, show dominance.
Didn't get there.
Okay, I'm just gonna top deck Invigorate, you know. So why are you not conceding, Tom? This is just a waste of both of our times.
It's true.
It's not Invigorate. Maybe we'll see. Land Invigorate. Let's go. Oh Jesus! There was Invigorate in here, but no land. Damn. So close. Okay, I tried. Damn. Let me show you my hand. It was quite hilarious, the brainstorm. So the brainstorm was Elf, Spell Pierce, Invigorate. There you go.
It's disturbingly close.
Disturbingly close indeed. Honestly, I feel like this is the summary of this stream for me. Disturbingly close, but not quite there. If I download this video, that's the name I'm gonna give it on my Patreon. Disturbingly close, but not quite there. Okay, let me just there you go. Same thing. Brainstorm is busted, yeah, for sure. Keep in mind, guys, if you are enjoying this content and haven't done so, smash that follow button. You'll get notified whenever I go online. And I already have my next guest for the Legacy Master Series tomorrow, so good stuff. Guess this is a keep. Not terribly exciting, but no. Okay, let's just go.
Gotta be honest here. That's terrifying. I have the Thoughtseize, and like I haven't been Veil Summered yet in this match.
It's gonna happen sooner or later.
Yeah, that's kind of the feeling, and I'm trying to figure out like what hand you would have kept on 7. that would not involve a noble hierarch or a glistener elf. So like, this feels like
But
it's like
Tom, I think
maybe.
we've established that my opening hands are just always bad. So just play the Thoughtseize. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
All right, if you insist, I guess I will.
And honestly, I wasn't even joking. My hand's bad. So, okay. Do I?
Oh, I like that this has taken a while.
Yeah, I don't want to force will this. I just can't force will this, really. I like your current decks containing Zenith Oko deck. I wish I would play Zenith Oko. Take Declarations, that does make sense. That's yield. My next guest will be Stryfo, but I'll explain more on that at the end of the stream. So, am I dead?
I wouldn't say dead. Debating whether or not I'm just going to jam 3 resources into whether or not you drew a blue card or not. I don't think my hand does anything else, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, so that's bad. Let's fetch here. Yeah, I have to, man. So I'm gonna make a desperate play here. I'm just going to animate and scale up. That means I buy myself 1 more turn. It's something.
How much guts would it take to just play like you didn't draw Invigorate?
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, for sure.
Well, thinking about it, I don't think I can make that play.
I'm gonna be honest. That would be really ballsy. Now, I didn't have the Invigorate, but I think me attacking here almost screams that I have Invigorate. I'd say.
Yeah, I don't think it's even at all reasonable to not block here.
I don't think so.
I want to not block.
Yeah, I can see why though. Yeah, sure, you attack and make you have Invigorate. Hey.
It's a good thing you made that play because my draw for the turn was Wasteland.
Ah, I knew that was going on. I just knew. Okay. So I'm gonna go to 4.
Alright, let's see the bluff.
Yeah, that was a purely bluff. I didn't draw anything. I could technically find swords to plowshares, I guess. Or was this game 1?
This is 2. You could find swords.
Okay. It's not in here. Let's shuffle. Nope, that's not it. Okay, let's yield. So I'm gonna fetch Savannah. And I'm gonna go up with a bang. There you go.
I believe this is the first time I've hit someone for 28.
Exactly 28. With 6-1/1/1 counters on it.
Yeah, it's an odd, odd number. Even though it's even numbers.
I just wanted to have a never happened before moment on the stream. Luckily, you made that
Yeah,
happen.
I've had it be all sorts of sizes. 28 is just not one of them.
That's a pretty weird size. Right, let's see. You have a question for me. Let's see. Which injures be a good sideboard for banned Infect? Yes. How many copies? I'm not sure if I want to play 2 or 3, but in my stream next week, where I will be focusing on banned Legacy Infect, I will definitely be playing Endurance, because I think the card's going to be excellent. But more on that later. Alright, what can I say? I think I kind of got crushed, which is interesting, because I felt like the matchup would be slightly favored for Infect, but who knows? Maybe I'm just thoroughly mistaken. Yeah, because didn't feel like the games didn't feel really close the last time here. What can I say? How do you feel, Tom?
I think this is the worst version for you to be playing against, just because racing is like legitimately an option. Like it's close. Like the speed of both decks are close. Once you're into the 4-petal 4-spirit guide versions, and like you mentioned, it was several games where like if you didn't die, I would have died the next turn, or if I didn't die, you would have died the next turn. And I think once you start delving into the slightly slower versions, and that's not the case, then it's just, I would rather be on the Infect side at that point. But being able to, having the speed of the decks be close, I think, I mean, I think it's really hard for either one of us to have an unbiased opinion on this, just because
That's definitely true.
you're one of the better, Infect players, and you're on average going to be better than your opponents. Yeah. So I think
it's difficult to assess these things, right? I've felt that a lot, where I can almost say that if I go to a real life tournament, maybe I should start saying less of how I feel about matchups, and I should say more about how I feel about situations, if that makes any sense. Because in smaller tournaments, I would almost say that Infect's favored against everything, especially because people don't know how to play against Infect in smaller tournaments with rather new players. But that changes a lot depending on the skill level of your opponents, and that's 100% sure.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I feel about, like, I'm kind of reluctant to talk about like I tracked for the better part of a year, and then I stopped because I thought the data was borderline useless. And then I tracked for the last league season because Rainbow was a new list, so I thought maybe the data would actually be a little bit better. And just you look at the numbers, and it's like they don't really say anything, because you don't know the skill level or the experience level of the people that you're going against, and it's kind of just at a certain point it's garbage in, garbage out. And when you're playing lesser known decks, like, it's not that like Depths is a less known deck or the Infect is like a less known deck, but like they're often outside of the top 10 most played decks in the format, more often than not. Maybe Depths is in the top 10, but it's never one of the top 5 or 6 played decks. So your average opponent isn't going to have the amount of reps. Like, I've probably played like 100 to 200 matches against Infect. With Depths.
Which is a lot. Which is a lot.
So yeah, for a matchup that's like maybe 2% of the meta, 1 to 2% of the meta, something like that. Yeah, that's a lot. So it's really difficult to say what anything means. But I think Turbo has a really fighting chance against Infect, just because the speed basis. And I don't have enough reps with the other versions to really know, but I would say that both of us probably get a lot of equity when we play, just from our experience levels with our shells versus because we've stuck with them for so long that we're going to have more reps than almost all of our opponents in the matchups. And you know exactly what to do, or what your 2 or 3 candidate options are for lines you can take, and your opponents just might trip up, like with not understanding what their role is, like where they're trying to like do things like draw cards with the Sylvan Library. Like, I've seen Depths players try to do that against Infect, or set up longer games and you sneak in a kill, and it's just one of those things. So it's really hard to say, but I think it's close.
Makes sense.
Whatever the truth is in there somewhere, I think it's a close matchup.
Agreed. I think that's definitely something we can agree upon. It's definitely close. And if we both think it's close, and we are probably in the highest skill levels of our decks, then I guess the matchup's about 50-50. Maybe that's where we then should be watching at. I'm not sure. It's all speculation. I don't know, honestly. is difficult to analyze. Tris Tiski, thanks for the follow. Cheers, appreciate it. All right, I do not have time to play another one myself because it's almost 10 o'clock where I live, so I have to slowly start packing up and heading to bed almost. But before we end, Tom, is there any place where people can find you, or do you want to advertise something of your own streams, or something else that you would like to give a shout out to yourself, or something else that you would like to say before ending the stream?
I'm not really. Even when I do content, it's always I'm always it's just out there for free. So I generally post about it. I guess the most public place that I post about it would be on Twitter. I don't really do Reddit posts or anything like that. So on Discord, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, I'm just negator77 everywhere. So pretty easy to find if you're looking for it.
I'll quickly, let's see, there you go. I've posted your Twitter in the chat so people can hover over there and check it out if they are interested. And that was the stream for today, guys. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Thank you all for the follows, for the subscriptions. It was a lot of fun. Keep in mind that if you haven't done so, smash that follow button to get notified whenever I go online. And if you want to help me out even more, consider subscribing, cheering, donating. All helps me out a ton. I will be back tomorrow, which is going to be an awesome stream as well, because then my guest will be Stryfo. For people who don't know Stryfo, he is the creator of, no surprises there, Stryfo Pile. And we will be playing with MH2 cards, so I will have a new list here with some MH2 cards. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be my first stream where I'm playing these. It's not a league, so only going to be one deck, so I don't know if a lot of MH2 cards will be played by me. But yeah, could be good. That was it for today. Tom, thank you so very much for being here. And yeah, I hope to see you all next time. Bye, guys. Cheers.
Bye.